And we have amazing for today. Are you ready? Let's see. And we've talked about this for what, a month? Roughly a month now already. So there we go. Now we've got our Instagram up and running. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. We've got amazing stuff today. Amazing stuff. And I had promised over a month ago, when I first read this, that I was going to read it again today because today's the day. So let's see what you think of this. And I'm also going to give you a hint of what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So we're on a roll here. This is good. We'll give it a minute for everyone to catch up with me. And yeah, our air is still lousy. Oh, well, I keep sending good energy. Good morning, Barb. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. You're the first one here today. That's always a cool thing when someone gets to be first, right? So let's start with putting ourselves in as open a state as we possibly can be, because I really want this information to sink in. It's the second time you're hearing it. Maybe for some of you, it's the third or fourth time because you watched the previous video over again. Good morning to whomever else is here. Hello, Nancy. Welcome. Glad you are here. So I kind of hoping it feels to some of you like Christmas Day. Time to open packages. All right. We've got good stuff rolling along today. And some of it may come packaged in some less than nice looking packages. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This will unfold in divine right timing, divine right order. Let's see what is unfolding. And I personally had chosen not to put much on the day. Good morning, Jonille. Obviously, you're here on Facebook again. Are you having trouble with the YouTube still? I don't know what the deal is, because yesterday when I looked, there were actually some people who did watch on YouTube. So I don't know what the deal is. Technology. We're going to be talking about that as well. So today, my plan is to reread the article I read back a month ago that was talking about today as being a very auspicious day. And so I want to help us be as open as possible to soaking up whatever we're meant to gather today. You can see further. Yeah, we've dropped from, I think it was extremely unhealthy to very unhealthy or something like that. I don't know. But improvement is improvement. We shall take it. I just keep sending good energy to the air and we'll see what it takes for it to clear. I think there's a wave of pretty intense storms supposed to come through later today. 80-mile-an-hour winds. That should blow stuff away, I would think. We shall see. Then tomorrow, I'm going to read Maria Shriver's Sunday newsletter, because I think coming off of today's reading and that sense of, ooh, this time is ripe. Now what do we do? Her newsletter, her I've been thinking, will give us grist for our mill. What do we do? What do we do? So I had we were missing one person yesterday, my awesome Goal Crushers group that's been going on for over 2.5 years. And we were talking about a lot of what we think might be coming and how could we prepare. And then we decided there really is no way to prepare for this stuff. It's like breathing through it and allowing the tumult and seeing where we end up, and then regrouping in a much newer and better way. Let's put it that way. So today I get to see my granddaughter. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. Yes, very thankful for the trees. I sent them good energy too. We were sitting at the park last night in the car with the air conditioning running because it was just too yucky to be out there. And I was sending good energy to all the trees. The animals were laying low. It was just, yeah. So I started something there and I didn't finish it. It will come back to me as we go, I'm sure. So let's start with just breathing ourselves open to receiving this message, open to whatever the day has to bring us. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Breathing yourself open. Letting go of all that no longer serves. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just keep preparing yourself. Keep focusing on opening, ready to receive, curious, curious observer, all of the things that help us be in the place of, well, isn't this interesting? Even if what it looks like to your perspectacles is, ugh, keep looking, keep looking. All right. So again, today is going to lay the groundwork for what the day is likely to bring, and this everybody uses the word era lately. It's an overworked word, but thank you, Taylor Swift. But this is an era that will probably not be repeated. It certainly won't be repeated in our lifetimes, but won't be repeated for, man, I don't even know. Might be hundreds of years. We shall see. So what I'm going to read first is the article that was written by Yasmin Boland, Boland. You can go hunt it up if you're looking for it. It's on Substack. And it was from May 20th. So a month ago. And it was labeled July 2026, the astrology that stopped me in my tracks. Today's the day. This whole energy around us. Feel into this. Again, my joke has been all of this smoke has been a smudge. It's been a smudge for humanity. And interesting to note where that smoke was most concentrated. All right. So close your eyes if you can, not if you're driving. Listen with the intuitive part of yourself. If you have a pen and paper handy, jot down the lines that scream at you, right? You can find this on her Substack, Yasmin Boland, Boland. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So she says, a couple of years ago, I was writing the Moonology Diary 2026, and when I got to July, I genuinely stopped in my tracks. I sat there staring at the ephemeris, a book of the planetary alignments, thinking, hold on, what? Because the sky for July 2026 is absolutely loaded. That takes on a whole new meaning now, doesn't it? And I don't mean loaded in the usual social media astrology way where someone discovers the sun is having its yearly meetup with Jupiter and suddenly we're all apparently entering the luckiest portal of all time. I roll. Good morning, Shelley. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. I've been an astrologer for more than 25 years and I care deeply about the integrity of this work. Truly, hyperbole is something I try to avoid because once everything becomes life-changing, nothing is. But this is rare. This is big, big. Here we are. We're right in the middle of it right now. Here's what's happening all in 1 month. So she's talking about July as a whole. Uranus sextile Neptune, Uranus trine Pluto, Jupiter trine Neptune, Jupiter opposite Pluto, Jupiter sextile Uranus, and Neptune sextile Pluto, all within days of each other, peaking around July 20th. Here we are. When 4 of these planets align at the same degree simultaneously. Wow. Wow, wow. Even I, who am a relative neophyte with astrology, realize that that's a big, hairy deal. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Happy Monday to you as well. And happy auspicious astrology day. The cosmos decided to drop an entire year or two's worth of astrology in a single week, this week. Why this is so unusual? For anyone who doesn't speak fluent astrology, that'd be me, these are not fast-moving planets having a quick chat. These are the slow giants of the solar system, the ones whose cycles span decades, sometimes generations. They take forever to go around, right? Good morning to everybody else. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So the reason that I'm picking today to read this is she's talking about 4 of the planets being aligned at the same degree somewhere today. So the energy of that is going to be massive. All right. So let's read some more. When several of these planets form harmonious aspects at the same time, we pay attention. So we are paying attention. We are breathing deeply. We are open to receiving. Part of how astrologers interpret rare alignments like this is by looking back at the time when something similar happened and seeing what was stirring in the world. The challenge with July 2026 is that some of these combinations haven't happened since the 1960s. I'm thinking, well, what's the big deal about that? I was born in the 60s. Oh, yeah, I'm old. Good morning, Maureen. Glad you are here. Welcome. Others point back to the 1920s. There are very few people left alive who were around in the 1920s. A few of these alignments have no real historical precedent at all. I hope you're properly impressed. Which makes it genuinely difficult to say exactly how this will unfold. What we can say is the nature of the energy, and the nature of this energy is extraordinary. So today is likely to be an extraordinary day. And don't fret if you're not seeing it on the surface of your day, because oftentimes the things that may appear mundane on the surface, there's huge stuff happening below the surface. Enter Andre Barbeau. When I first saw this astrology, I emailed my colleague, Master Astrologer Rick Levine, because I was so stunned by it. I joked we should do an entire conference just around this one week. Rick agreed that it was extraordinary. We never quite got around to organizing the conference. But I wasn't the only one who was tracking this. The legendary French astrologer Andre Barbeau, widely regarded as one of the greatest mundane astrologers of the 20th century, had been writing about this moment for years before his death in 2019. In his 2014 book, Planetary Cycles, Mundane Astrology, he described this July 2026 configuration as the most beautiful configuration of the 21st century. Hope you're starting to feel excited about this. Hope you're starting to feel excited, okay? He called it a reflowering, a relaunch of civilization after a long period of contraction. His view was that the outer planets forming this pattern, now often called the Barbeau basket, would mark the end of a major cycle of collective crisis and the beginning of something genuinely new. We'll just let that for a moment, let that resonate. Let me read that sentence again. His view was that the outer planets forming this pattern, now often called the Barbeau basket, would mark the end of a major cycle of collective crisis and the beginning of something genuinely new. Worth noting, Barbeau also predicted the 2020 pandemic years before it happened. So when he describes 2026 as a turning point, that carries weight. Yes, tons of stuff brewing that we can't see yet. It will become obvious, and we don't need to freak out about it. This is divine right timing and divine right order. A very loose translation of what this all might mean. These are her words for what this all might mean. Humanity gets an update. Amen and alleluia. The future arrives faster than expected. Innovation meets spirituality. Are we not talking about the morality, the spirituality of AI? Oh my goodness, way. Dream the dream. Culture changes aesthetic. Here's one to note. Power structures wobble. and new ones form. Creative breakthroughs go mainstream. People collectively realize that burnout isn't aspirational, not something we should be striving for to burn ourselves out. Technology starts searching for meaning. Spirituality gets smarter. The collective, that's all of us, folks, starts craving authenticity over performance. We want real. We don't want, what do you call that stuff? I can't even think of the name of it. Those fake TV shows, whatever the heck they are. Yeah. And disclosure, things that we couldn't see. It's like the iceberg again is turning over so we can see the underbelly. Think of it as a global rebrand, she says. The boundaries between science, spirituality, technology, and mystery become much thinner under these skies. This is no longer either or. Now either or. It's going to be and this and this and this, and notice how these are working together, and notice how these are clashing right now, and all the things. Reality show. There it is. Okay. What has felt separate, head and heart, ancient and modern, individual and collective, starts to feel more integrated. There is a word of caution because there's one aspect in this cluster that needs a flag. Jupiter opposite Pluto. This is powerful energy, and it can tip toward shadow if we're not conscious. We don't have to look very far to find that shadow, right? And the unconscious nature of some of the actors in that shadow. The intoxication of certainty, the lure of influence for its own sake, big vision without grounded motives. So the real sweet spot here isn't just ambition, it's ambition with integrity. So I'm going to suggest to you, yes, the big and, I'm going to suggest to you at any point when you're voting for any office, is this someone with ambition, with integrity? That would be a beautiful rule of thumb on which to base your vote. Big dreams, clean motives, open mind, grounded nervous system. I knew you'd like that one, Jonelle. Grounded nervous system. That's the assignment. Astrologers will remember Jupiter and Pluto were also center stage during the pandemic years, which is why this combination tends to make people sit up and pay attention. But the energy of July 2026 feels radically different. Hopefully less lockdown and more seismic positive transformations. Today's the day. And not that this energy won't continue, because again, there's days before and days after, weeks before and weeks after, when we're feeling the shifting energies. So one of the things I'd love for you to do is share this video with someone who's freaking out about what's happening right now. Hopefully this will help them have a greater sense of calm as we watch some stuff crumble and fall. It's part of the process. It's what's going to happen. It's like you're 3 years old and your Lego tower tips over. Rebuild better. So, how to use this? This astrology rewards people who are open to change. Thus, our little exercise at the beginning of this video to really be as open as we possibly can be. One of the things I would suggest you do all day long is stand up straight and pop those shoulders back. Open up your heart. Open up your heart. Open up your heart. People willing to evolve, innovate, and stop pretending they're fine when they're spiritually exhausted. Anybody else willing to claim exhaustion? I know I am. So this is the kind of thing, though, that feeds our soul, that feeds the all that is. So really soak it up. Really be as open as you can be to receive. And again, notice that divine feminine focus. Be receptive. It's not about pursue, although we will be moving forward And we will be taking steps, but they're going to be, what do I want to say? I can't even find the right word, but merely us moving forward instead of as we leap forward. No. If you've been sitting on an idea, a creative project, a business, a platform, a reinvention, or a dream that feels bigger than your current life, this astrology supports movement. So we do need to do something, that divine masculine aspect. But we also need to be in that open place of receiving the energy to do it. On a smaller personal scale, this might look like launch the thing, send the email, leave the thing, transform, evolve, embrace change, pitch the idea, change your direction, start the healing, learn the technology, trust the intuition, stop dimming yourself. I like that last one. So, last sentence, especially anything connected with the media, writing, teaching, healing, spirituality, technology, creativity, community, there's mine, or innovation. So, this is, good morning, Mary. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the coffee. Love it. So, this is where we're at today. This is where we're at today. Feel it. Be curious. Soak things up. So a last little section here where she's just talking about her reaction to this. And honestly, all of us are going to feel that something is shifting because it is. After decades of studying astrology, I can tell you with complete sincerity, I very rarely see a sky pattern that makes me put my pen down and stare at the chart. July 2026 did exactly that. And we are, she says, almost there. And I'm going to say, we are there. We are there. Here we are. So, again, tomorrow, I'm going to be reading Maria Shriver's Sunday newsletter, I've Been Thinking. And it's answers to the question of, now what? Now what do we do? So you can go ahead and read it ahead of time if you want. Her newsletter is fabulous. So, but if not, I will read it to you tomorrow. And today, be aware. Be aware. Go forth. Look for what looks different. Look for what feels different. Be present in this energy. This is such an auspicious time, never to, again to return in our lifetime. So really soak it up now. Really soak it up now. Have an awesome Monday. I think it's funny it's on a Monday too, beginning of a new cycle. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.